now?
Well, Mr. O'Crick, or whatever you're...
Lord O'Crick to you.
I beg your pardon. That doesn't mean to say humans don't have free will. They do. Everything works in cycles. Everything is cyclical. What goes round comes round. You can't blame God for everything. You can't blame these people for coming here. They're poor economic refugees. Just look at Sariko. He's a refugee.
I'm only here for the money. I hate Southerners.
Now the tables are turned. Look at the power of India and China. They will be the new powers in the next 50 years. Everyone will be going over there rather than coming over here.
Yes, the new superpowers. I think we should never have given the Indians their independence. That way we could still be making money out of you through taxes and...
You had no choice. Gandhi was brewing a version of the famous Boston Tea Party with Indian tea. And you had no choice. Not to mention all the Sikhs that sacrificed their lives in both world wars and for independence.
Sikhs in World War? I've seen thousands of war films and not one Sikh in them.
That's what I mean. Brainwashed. You're being brainwashed.
Just look at this map. North America, half of Africa, the Middle East, Australasia, South Asia, Tibet, Southeast Asia. We ruled them all. The greatest empire in world history.
And the most evil too. You massacred millions by guns and disease.
But for God's sake, it was the other Europeans who carried on with slavery long after we stopped it. I mean, give us some credit. We are owed so much from the world because we gave you so much Shakespeare, Churchill, George Washington, Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes was the inventor of terrorism. Had to blow up buildings and kill innocent people. He has a lot to answer for, even though he failed.
But we gave you plastic surgery with a lot of foreigners' need to blend in. We gave you Princess Diana.
You killed her too. The establishment didn't want her marrying a Muslim.
The royal family have never eaten halal meat and never will. Wills and Harry would have had a mother who would encourage us all to eat halal meat and convert to Islam.
So you admit MI6 and the French Secret Service were behind her death?
But we wanted to preserve Diana as a quintessential English rose, untouched by the Muslims.
The royal family isn't English anyway. Your hypocrisy has own limits.
Quite right too. We didn't want to see Diana with a veil over her face. Stop digressing. What about the Beatles, Cliff Richard, the Industrial Revolution, science and technology, dinosaurs?
Most of the artefacts in British and other Western museums have been stolen from countries that invaded and looted.
You're just jealous. Entertainment, Margaret Thatcher, Eddie the Eagle. We gave you Salman.
We gave you Salman Rushdie and you're paying for it.
We gave you sex aids.
We don't need sex aid, man.
No, you just gave us AIDS. Look at all the AIDS in Africa and Asia.
Rock Hudson gave AIDS to the West after you took our monkeys and infected them after you had sex with them. You remember?
Some apes are quite attractive. We gave you cricket, football, golf. We taught you how to drink tea properly, how to use toilet rolls.
Do you know that wiping your ass with toilet rolls is in fact very unhygienic and leaves bits of shit still on your ass? Do what they do in the third world. Use water. Scientists will tell you it's far healthier.
Let's talk tits and not shit. We gave you page 3.
Oh guys, you remember, and these things you just do them. Do you remember, you see that you love gay sex, you all do this and promote it anyway.
Well, as a former public schoolboy, there's a lot to be said for a bit of exploration of one's sexual desires, Ducky.
Are you a bisexual? Oh my God.
Don't knock it till you try it, Ducky. It may help you get a British passport.
Apart from guns, disease and the Bible, the British Empire was also built on a 21-day rule.
What is that then?
That's an unwritten secret. You mustn't divulge that. I will take you to court.
Sue me, whip me, crap me. Basically because the sailors on ships used to spend months at sea, and were mostly men of course, they had to relieve their sexual frustration.
I'm warning you, I'll be relieving my sexual frustrations on you in a minute.
After 3 weeks, the captain would allow sailors to have anal sex with each other.
You mean they would have gay sex and promote Christianity in their colonies?
Yes, and they would bum each other off for months on end until they reached their destination.
Just don't say hello sailor to me, my lord. You're always trying to get me in your bloody boat.
Look, we had to keep the morale of our great sailors up. You're just jealous. We have also given the greatest gift of all to the use of the English language. It is the most subtle and delicate language in the world. It has more expression than any other. It's the only language that has that je ne sais quoi that other languages just don't have.
The English language originates from the Indo-Germanic group of languages, and if you look at where the English language originates from, it is northern India. It then developed through Latin and the Germanic and French influences to be what it is today. It is linked closely to Sanskrit, Hindi and Punjabi, so you do us some credit when it comes to English.
In the words of Dickie Thompson, speak English or die.
Oh, listen, I've told you guys time and again, what about pedophile, financial fraud, big business exploiting the world poor, pornography, name it?
Well, actually, that was us. We gave the world the Kama Sutra. It was written in ancient India, how to make love in 69 positions.
That probably explains why you have so many babies that you can't feed properly.
Look at all these successful athletes. They are all black. We are all well endowed, which is why so many white women love us.
Well, there's not that much difference in penis size generally. Some women like a bit of rough.
What are you saying, man? We are the love kings. You know that, isn't it?
South Asian men tend to have smaller penises than average. Mind you, that doesn't stop them breeding, does it?
Well, as a North Indian of Pakistani Polish origin, I can say that we have above average penis, and I can prove it if you like. My penis is ready.
Okay, come on, let's have a measure,
No, I'll take your word for that. But what you have to have given us to the world, apart from the Kama Sutra?
Medicines, herbs, spices, good food, rockets, open all hours corner shops, cheap takeaways. The health service would collapse without Indian doctors. Yoga.
I think you'll find that Yogi Bear comes from Hollywood.
You know curry is the national food for British people?
Oh, just look at this map. We rule the world. Now everybody wants to come here because of it. We are sinking now because of all the weight of these people here. It's nothing to do with sea levels rising through global warming.
Although Crit, or whatever your name is.
Oh, do call me hip.
We're getting familiar now.
We'll get familiar a bit later.
That's what you think. Do you know when the biggest mass migration took place in human history and to where?
Yes, in the 50s and 60s with you lot coming here.
Lord O'Crit, you know perfectly well that it was in the 19th century when over 40 million English, Scottish, Welsh, Irish, French, Spanish, Russians, etc. went in search of a better life to North America, South America, Southern Africa, Siberia, Australia, New Zealand, etc.
Oh, we are the master race. We breed well. We used to have 10 kids to a family, so we had to immigrate to feed them all.
Until recently, the average was about 15 kids for European settlers who took over whole continents abroad and massacred the natives.
They were the original economic refugees. They were given millions of acres of land stolen from the native Indians and Africans. Now you can't complain when millions of immigrants want to come here and are let in because they do the jobs that you just can't be bothered to do.
I know how that feels, bloody lazy southerners. I'm glad to be a northerner. I hate bloody southerners. I only come here for the work because we don't get any up north.
It's too cold up north. I can't understand your bloody accents anyway.
So you are an economic refugee, Sariko?
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I send my money back home and I've already bought 5 houses up there.
Why don't you go back where you came from, bloody foreigner?
Without economic refugees like me, London would collapse like the bloody plague.
If BNP had their way, the country would grind to a halt. The service industries, transport, hospitals, restaurant cleaners, they all depend on immigrant labour.
Yes, but it will be back to the good old days. No crime, no housing shortage.
Do you mean the white people don't commit any crime? You are a madman. You can't brainwash us, man.